Hello and welcome to this how to choose a Warhammer Fantasy Army video with me, Xenovids. Now I have done a hell of a lot of 40k coverage over the last year, I guess, and not a lot of fantasy. I've delved in and out of fantasy, not a lot of people around this area play it. I do enjoy fantasy. I think the model range is amazing and it's just so different, and there's so much detail in these little models, and it gives you the chance to have huge proper hordes or these lumbering giant monsters, which are things I like. But unfortunately not a lot of people play fantasy around this area, so I'm trying to spur that on. We've got 3 or 4 players that have come back into the game for 40k, and with this video I'm hoping that they'll watch and be like, actually I've seen these models, I like the look of it, but where do I start? So this video is all about the process that I go through when I choose an army. I've done a similar video for 40k and now I'm going to apply it to fantasy. So the big things I would like, so it is my hobby. This is my hobby. I'm not just going to play it as a game or just wing it. This is my hobby. I'm going to choose with my heart and my head and with my eyes. So what I mean by that is, what armies do I like? So the first thing to do is either go to Games Workshop or their website and look at the list of their army, and this is all the armies they have right now. As you can see, there's a lot there. What you need to do is kind of have a look at all the models and kind of be like, well, what don't I like and what do I like? Because if you're going to collect an army, it's better you collect an army you like the look of and you're going to enjoy painting. So I'm going to take away all the ones that I don't like the look of right now. So the ones that I left are Dark Elves, High Elves, Lizardmen, Ogre Kingdoms, Orcs and Goblins, Vampire Counts, Warriors of Chaos and Wood Elves. Now Dark Elves and High Elves and Wood Elves are all in there. I like Elves. I've always liked Elves, from Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, everything. I've always liked the way they are. Dark Elves, kind of the evil of the Elves. They formed a rebellion against the High Elves, and they're kind of like pirates. The High Elves, which are I think more of like ancient Roman and Greek warriors, they look awesome, and from what I've seen they're a top tier army, so that's good. Lizardmen, completely different. They're lizards. They're Aztec kind of themed. They've got giant frogs that are bloated with all this psychic energy. Ogre Kingdoms are these giant ogres that smash your face in combat. You don't have to have a lot of experience or tactical know-how. You go in and you smash. You don't have to maneuver as much as the Elves. You don't have to think 4 moves ahead really as the Ogre Kingdoms. You go in and you smash and you destroy and you stomp. Orcs and Goblins. I always had a soft spot for the little green men, and they're different and they're fun and they're random, and that's great. Vampire Counts. Who doesn't like vampires? Now this army, I'm on a 50-50 kind of thing with it. I don't want to spend millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds on zombies and skeletons and hordes, and that's what it seems like you do. You have these guys to whittle down your opponent, you keep bringing them back to life, and your vampires do all the damage. I would prefer just an army of stronger units, but they are undead, unfortunately. But because I love the vampires so much, I'm going to keep them in for now. Warriors of Chaos, they're evil men. They're butched up men, and they are with armour and cannons, and they're evil and a bit crazy. And what else? Again, I always like Elves, and these guys are Elves. Okay, so that's what I've chosen, and I've done a bit of research now, because I've chosen with my eyes and my heart. Now I need to work with my head. because again, if you choose an army you love the look of, but is at the very bottom of the tiers and bottom of the pile in their strengths, and everyone can beat you like that, then you're going to get disinterested and disheartened, and you may collect a few models just to paint, but for me I like to paint and then use them to battle and game with. So I've done a bit of research, and I'm going to share this research with you because I found an amazing website where they've done a poll with all their forum members, and then he's compiled it together into this beautiful layout of how strong each army is in many different ways: ranged, magic, combat, defense and offensive. So I'm going to share this with you, and we're going to have a look at all the armies, and then I'm going to show you what I'm left with. So they go down into these categories of maneuverability, magic offense, magic defense, range defense, combat offense and combat defense. Now it's noted that in the top 3 armies of votes, movement or maneuverability, as I'm trying to say, it would seem Bretonia are great at this, Wood Elves are great at this, and Demons are great at this. But coming in close are armies like High Elves and stuff like that. Generally with Elves, they can maneuver a lot, and you try and outplay your opponent that way. Magic offensive, High Elves are amazing at that. It looks like, well, Demons again, and possibly Vampire Counts or Dark Elves. Magic defense, dwarves. Dwarves are horrible. I hate them so much. My Ian plays dwarves, and they're just horrible. They have glyphs, and it's like, I'm gonna try and do this magical power, and he's gonna be like, bang! I've banged the hammer on the anvil, and you can't do it now. High Elves again are good at that, and Lizardmen have a great magic defense. In ranged offense, Dark Elves are awesome. Dwarves are awesome, and High Elves are in the top 3. Combat offense, Warriors of Chaos, Ogres and Demons. But Lizardmen, I think, should be in there as well. Combat defense is Dwarves, Ogres and Empire. Or Britannia. So going through to the next bit, this is what all the armies were ranked. Now you can see the maneuver, Beastmen got 6, Bretonia got 10, Demons of Chaos got 8, Dark Elves got 8, Dwarves got only 1, High Elves 8, Lizardmen 7, Ogre Kingdom 7, Orcs and Goblins 7, Skaven 6, the Empire 6, Tomb King 6, Vampire Counts 3, Warriors of Chaos 5, Wood Elves 9, and so on and so forth. Magic offense, Beastmen 6, Bretonia 3. I'll let you read them. I'm also going to add a link in the description below so you can see all of this for yourself and have a look at what armies you like the look of and see how effective they are. So looking at these and thinking of my playstyle and how I want to play, I'm left with Dark Elves, High Elves, Lizardmen, Ogre Kingdom and Wood Elves. That's what I'm left with, this top 5 armies. So now I really have to look at the model range, because I know what the armies can do, how manoeuvrable they are. So the Elves are manoeuvrable. Lizardmen are stronger in combat though. High Elves always strike first, which is amazing, and the high initiative means they're re-rolling. I think the Wood Elves and the Dark Elves might have that as well. But the High Elves are in the top 3 for magic and stuff like that. Dark Elves are shooty. Wood Elves are shooty, but Wood Elves are rubbish in combat. Dark Elves aren't as strong in magic and stuff like that, in defensive magic. Whereas Wood Elves' magic is kind of supporting their whole army. And Ogre Kingdoms. Yeah, I didn't think I'd like them, but the more I do look at them, that they look quite cool. They're hulking beasts. They're unique in the sense that they're all on those big bases, 40mm bases, and they go along and they go stomping and eating and doing stuff like that. And the theme with like these mountain men are cool, and it would look good against Ian, who has dwarves. Ian also has lizardmen though. Ian's collecting lizardmen, so I think I'm not going to do that. So I'm left with 4 high elves, wood elves, dark elves, and ogre kingdoms. If I'm being honest, I would probably collect all of them, but wood elves to me seem like they're the most unforgiving army, in the sense that you really need to plan essentially, or hope for the best, because you have all these arrows that have armor piercing, or you can have them having magical abilities and poison and stuff like this, or minus I think 1 or 2 to your opponent's armor or stuff like this. And if I go against Ian or my friends, they won't always take the same armies. Or if we do a tournament, I won't be doing the same armies, and we won't be changing the lists up. So what could be good against another won't be good against the other one. So for me, I think wood elves are out as well, which leaves dark elves, high elves, and ogres. And I kind of want it to be a race against race for the top spot. So now ogres are there, they're in the top spot with one of the elves. And out of high elves and dark elves, I prefer the high elves. So it's between high elves and ogres for the army that I'll choose. So I've looked at what models I like. I like high elves models. I like ogre models. I've looked at their playstyles. High elves are fast. Ogres can move about. High elves are good in combat. Ogres are good in combat. High elves aren't so good at defense, ogres are. But high elves are good, have some shooting and better magic. They also have more model range. But ogres are the best army for points to pounds or dollars or wherever you are in the world. So you don't have to spend as much on your ogre army financially as you do with others. So it's between ogres and high elves, and I'm now racking my brains about what armies to choose. So these are my 2 that are left. I'm going to leave this video here, and I want you to leave a comment below and go through the same process as me. So go through your list of all the ones you like, and then go through the things that I have done. So the combat, offensive, defensive, maneuverability, and everything like that, and come up with a top 5, and then try and whittle it down to 2. Then in the comment section below, please tell me the 2 that you're left with, and tell me why. A reason why, or a couple of reasons why, these 2 are the ones that you're left with. And then I'm going to do a follow-up video in more detail about the ogres and the high elves, so that I can talk about the history of each of these armies and talk about a couple of models that I really like. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has been a bit informative. It's a bit of a random fantasy video, a little bit of a curveball with all this 40k that's been going on. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and again let me know how many fantasy players there are out there and what's popular in your area, fantasy or 40k. I've been Xenovids, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.